Hey YouTube, today we're going to be unboxing another eBay pickup that I've got here. This is a Hondo 2. This is a made in Japan Strat style guitar from the 70s or possibly very early 80s, and looked really nice on eBay, and it looks like the box got here in great shape, so hang with me as we unbox this Hondo 2 Strat style made in Japan 1970s guitar. Alright, so there we have it. It's very well packed and the strings are detuned, so the seller knew to do all that, and very, very nicely packed. Take a look at this. Super vintage looking here. Awesome. Look at that. And very cool. Now, it's got some damage on the pick guard right here, which the seller said it had been previously repaired, looks like, but you know, not a big deal. I may or may not try to finish the repair job. I might replace it. I'm not sure yet. We'll just have to see. And is this I think this is a screw-in. Generally speaking, I would not recommend shipping with the tremolo arm in. And I'm just going to pop it out. There we go. Alright. So, check out the body on this. Very nice flame work there. And nice contour. And it's actually got the flame paint on the back, and you see he sent it with this. It's always fun if you get like a guitar that's got its, you know, matched strap with it. So he just sent it along with the strap. It's got this cool kind of floral gold design there. Seems like the strap has got some age on it too, and very cool. So I mean, this is a very neat guitar. These are the Hondo 2s. Came out in the 70s and went up until like 82, I want to say. I'm going to check my dates, but basically mid to late 70s into early 80s. And we know this made in Japan, but doesn't have any serial number or anything. That's not unusual. So let me stop my past self for just a second here. After I've had this guitar for a while and I've done some more research on it, I was under the initial impression it was made in Japan, but a very convincing article I found on Samick's wiki page said that this was a made in Korea model. And so if this information is correct, because there's conflicting stuff out there, but this rings true in terms of the amount of detail they had, and I know all that can be faked, and none of this is certain, but there is no stamp on this. It does not say made in Japan or made in Korea or anything, other than it just says Hondo 2. That's all we've really got to go on here. And so what I've discovered on this article is that this was a co-venture with Samick and an American musical company, and they initially started producing their models in Japan, but the very first ones in Japan, but they quickly moved most of their manufacturing to Korea. And so this actually is a great example of an early Korean vintage guitar. And the Hondo 2, you have there, again, there's some disagreement on when exactly this started, but somewhere 74 to 76 and through the end of the 70s, possibly into the very early 80s. There's all this about how they were branding and rebranding and so forth, but the 2 era seems to be the last half basically of the 70s. So we've been able to locate this as a made in Korea. Still, you know, the Japanese are in the mix in terms of the company, and Korea being peninsula right next to Japan, and there's, you know, all sorts of cultural history there. But as we have also come to learn, you know, made in Japan guitars have tended towards excellence, especially in the long run. So have made in Korea guitars. And the example of a made in Korea guitar I've got is the one, that PRS SE Santana right there. Fantastic guitar. Early 2000s, fantastic guitar. And so I was mistaken initially as I was shooting these videos. I was under the impression that this was a made in Japan guitar. But with further research, I believe now that it is actually a made in Korea guitar, and made by Samick, which you can check out. I've got all sorts of videos on Samick's. Samick is a very, very big and excellent manufacturer of Asian guitars, so check that out as well. They look pretty old. So I'm going to do a restring on it before I'm going to go ahead and plug it in, make sure the electronics are working and so forth before I go any further. But I will probably go ahead and do a restring on it and then go from there, because some of these, especially the high strings, are pretty rusted and got some crimps in them and so forth. But anyway, stay tuned as we get further into this Hondo 2 made in Japan Strat style guitar from the 70s.